Right now at 5, Pittsburgh State students bring the community together with a cornhole fundraiser.
We've got a bit of a cloudy and cold start to our Monday out there. Temperatures will warm up, skies will clear. We'll tell you how much warmer we'll get. But look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, the Maple Leaf Festival hosts a chicken pageant. We'll hear from the winner of this unique contest.
The 4 States' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 States, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's a bit cold outside, so if you're not quite awake
cold
yet, all you need to do is walk outdoors, and believe me, you will be awake in no time. Let's take a look outside. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Again, the cameras don't show us the cold unless there's snow on the ground, but I can assure you it is chilly, and we can do that by taking another look outside. So Joplin sitting at 41, a little warmer in Kansas, 44 in Pittsburgh at least, so just a bench warmer, but nonetheless pretty darn chilly out there. I did not change this background, so I apologize. It's not going to be raining. This is accurate though, and I'll get that fixed. We're looking at sunny skies when that bus comes to pick them up. No rain or anything. 40 degrees though, so you're going to need a coat. Northwest breeze at 5 to 10 when they come home. Now this is accurate. We are looking at sunny skies, 61 degrees with that northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. You have no idea how many little check boxes there are to change all of these things, especially that school bus one, man. There's 100 different options on there, and sometimes you forget about them. We go through the morning. We're going to see a few clouds here and there. Between 8 and 10, we have a brief gusty winds out of the northwest, but nothing too crazy. But still chilly, though, only making it into the low 50s by late morning. We may have a stray shower or two a little later in the week, and our temperatures, they're not going to warm a lot, but they're going to warm some. We'll take a look at your complete forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, a woman is dead after her car is hit by a semi on Highway 400 near Parsons, Kansas yesterday. Authorities say 78-year-old Nancy Davis of Marshfield, Missouri, was driving west on the highway when she crossed the center line and hit a semi headed east. Davis was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi was taken to the hospital. 3 teenagers were injured in a shooting outside of a wrestling match in Kansas City, Missouri. Authorities say the shooting happened Saturday outside the T-Mobile Center where a WWE event was happening. The 3 teens were hospitalized and listed in stable condition. The T-Mobile Center at the time was locked down during the event. No word on any suspects or arrests. And if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the App Store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. And Pittsburgh State students yesterday hosted a cornhole tournament. The purpose of the event was for PSU students to get to know the community as well as give back to their fans and supporters. The tournament doubled as a fundraiser where all proceeds were split between 3 local organizations.
The main idea of today is to kind of bring the community of Pittsburgh, Kansas and the community of the college itself together as one. That's kind of my job. So we were looking at things over the summer and what exactly we could do to fulfill that. And one thing we decided on was that, a cornhole is something that's very appropriate for this time of year.
Registration was $5 per student and $10 per community member. Parsons residents yesterday were able to participate in a mud run. The mud run consisted of more than 10 obstacles within a 1.5 mile long course. After the run, participants were able to visit the Parsons Fire Department area to get cleaned up.
We have seen a couple of the other rec centers do it in bigger cities, and we figured it'd be something different to offer to our community. And we started it 4 years ago, and we continue to do it every year.
All participants received a swag bag before the race began. The Maple Leaf Festival hosted their second day of events yesterday. Sunday's festivities included a chili cook-off. It cost $10 to enter and $5 to taste. About 10 different chili booths were set up, with each booth offering a different take on the classic chili.
Yeah, so we change it up from year to year, give to different organizations. Last year was the Carthage Humane Society, and this year it's the Carthage VFW. So keeping the funds local and trying to help our community in the best way we can.
All chili cooks made their chili on site at Central Park. Also part of the Maple Leaf Festival was a chicken pageant. The rules are simple. Bring a chicken and dress it up in a costume. The audience voted for their favorite chicken and costume for each age group, and the winner walks away with a prize.
Because I'm a girl and I wanted to be Dorothy, and I also couldn't think of anything small enough and also easier, so I thought Dorothy and Toto would be a good idea.
Events for Maple Fest will continue all week leading up to the big parade on Saturday. And a sign of autumn can be dangerous for motorcyclists. Reporter Chris Bryant has a reminder from police about the hazards of the falling leaves and what they can cause.
If you've ever hit black ice in your vehicle, well, leaves and grass clippings can do the same thing for motorcyclists and bicyclists, whether they're wet or dry. When driving your car, truck, or SUV, you have four wheels to help you when you drive over leaves or grass clippings in the roadway. However, when on a motorcycle, you only have 2 points of contact, which can cause you to lose control more easily.
On a motorcycle, obviously, you've only got two, and they're a lot smaller, so loss of traction on one, front or rear, can be catastrophic.
Springfield Police want to remind you that when it comes to fall cleanup, to be mindful of how you get rid of your leaves.
They should not blow leaves and grass clippings into the street, even alongside into the gutter. It's against city ordinance to blow them even into the gutter, and that's for several reasons. One, for the safety of motorcyclists and bicyclists, but also for the stormwater system. It clogs up the storm drains.
When it comes to motorcycles and bicycles, Springfield Police remind everyone to keep a lookout for each other.
Watch your speed. Speed in the corners, hitting a patch of dry grass in the roadway will also put a motorcyclist down. It'll add to it. And just watch out for each other.
If you need to properly dispose of your bagged yard waste, whether it's leaves or grass clippings, you can contact your local city or county offices to find out where your nearest yard waste recycling location is.
And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas improved to 7-0 of the season after wins over the Missouri Southern Lions. Plus, another powerful earthquake hits Afghanistan yesterday. We'll have the details. And we have another fall-like day. We'll have what to expect from today with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Pittsburgh State Gorillas improved to 7-0 on the season after their 31-21 win on Saturday over the Missouri Southern Lions. Of course, Pitt State knows they'll get everyone's best shot, especially against a rival.
Those young guys are stepping up, and they have to. There's no choice. You know, we've had a lot of bumps and bruises this season, and we need a lot more guys to continue to step up. We're going to get everybody's best shot, certainly, and you know, we kept it a close game for the entire game.
When you win, there's stuff to do that you can get better. When you lose, there's stuff to do to get better. And I don't know that it's proportional with the win or loss. So I don't know, after a loss, do you have that much more to get better, or I don't know. So we'll definitely dissect the film. We'll figure out what we can do better, and we'll find a way to strap it together for this last third of the season.
Well, Kansas City Chiefs are coming off their 5th straight win of the season after their Thursday night win against Denver Broncos. Chiefs got yesterday off before they host the Chargers next weekend. Despite the winning record, there's still room to improve.
Luckily for us, our defense is playing great, so we can go through these growing pains and try to get better and better. But I mean, the talent's there. You can see it in spurts, but we have to learn how to sustain drives, getting down the red zone, score touchdowns, and make it easier on our defense to play a little bit more free.
And then offensively, we've got to take care of business in the red zone. Had a lot of yards, positive yards, but you can't stall down there. You can't have penalties. You can't have fake field goal. We probably want to have that one back on the QB sneak. So.
Only other AFC West game on last night, Patriots versus Raiders in Las Vegas in the second quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo throws to former Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers, who catches the touchdown. One former Patriot to another. Vegas takes a 10-0 lead. Later in the game, Garoppolo would leave due to an injured back, and he would not return to play the entire second half. New England looking to take advantage of that. Fourth quarter, Patriots trail 19-10. Ramondre Stevenson scores the touchdown. New England makes it a one-possession game, but Raiders still lead 19-17. Next, Patriots possession, no timeouts. Mac Jones is in trouble, and he's sacked in the end zone by Max Crosby for the safety. Las Vegas holds on to beat New England at home 21-17. Other scores around the NFL last night, the Miami Dolphins keep their hot defense rolling. Dolphins beat the Panthers 42-21. Miami is now 5-1 on the season as they are tied with the Chiefs for the #1 overall seed in the AFC. Remember, the Chiefs and Dolphins will meet in Germany in about 3 weeks from last night. That could be a big potential tiebreaker. Well, we're down to our final 4 teams in the Major League postseason. There's a chance we could get a World Series rematch from last season or something completely different. Well, the Battle of Texas last night in Houston as the Texas Rangers face the Astros for the first time in postseason history. Stakes are high as it's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Winner goes on to the World Series. Rangers take Game 1 as they beat their Lone Star foes in a shutout 2-0. Watch Game 2 of this series later today on Fox 14. Pre-game begins at 2:30 with first pitch scheduled for 3:37. Meanwhile, Game 1 of the NLCS begins tonight with the Phillies and the Diamondbacks battling it out. That game begins at 7:07 tonight. And lastly, the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team set an all-time women's college basketball attendance record. An official 55,646 fans attended the event in Kinnick Stadium, which is where the Hawkeyes play football. Iowa won their exhibition game 94-72 over DePaul. Still to come, why new research shows women are being diagnosed with lung cancer more than men. Plus, we got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 now on this Monday morning. Taking a live look outside. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. We are looking pretty good out there this morning, but we are a bit on the chilly side. Same from the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera 7th and range line also looking pretty good. 41, mostly cloudy. Those clouds begin to clear through the morning with a calm breeze out there, so at least it feels like 41. We got that northwesterly breeze, and check out all these cool temperatures around the area. 38 in Parsons, Neodesha, 46 Fort Scott, also 38 in Iola, 44 Pittsburgh, 46 Miami, 41 Neosho, 39 Monette, and 40 in Carthage as we get this Monday underway. We will not warm very quickly despite the plentiful sunshine out there. We'll have mostly clear skies, getting a bit breezy briefly, and then those winds will come back down a bit and we'll go low 50s by late morning. That's any indication as to how cool it's going to be today. Again, mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there, and we'll go into the low to mid 60s for our afternoon highs. And of course, a little further to the west, especially along and west of that US 75 corridor, might be a little warmer out there, closer to the mid 60s, maybe even some upper 60s out there. We'll start to go partly cloudy as we head into the evening and overnight. Temperatures will fall pretty quickly, as you can see, through the evening, and we'll drop back down once again, upper 30s and low 40s across the region. This is one of the most simplistic forecasts we've had in a while. We are going to start to warm, though, as we head through the week. Could see an isolated shower or two Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies are going to be the theme. Temperatures warming, though. Upper 60s tomorrow. We'll start to go low mid 70s by midweek. We'll hold on to those low 70s through the weekend, and then we'll kind of just bounce around a little bit. Upper 60s, low 70s out there, and we've got some additional shower and rain chances as we head toward the end of next week, and of course some pretty chilly overnight lows as well, back into the low 50s and upper 40s across the area. That is a quick check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, it's National Fire Prevention Week, and the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is issuing a warning about the dangers of flammable liquids. Mindy Gaither has more on how to properly use and store fuel containers this fall.
From burning fall leaves to fire pits and barbecues, there are a lot of blazes this time of year, but flames and fuel don't mix.
There's thousands of people that are treated in hospital emergency rooms every year from burns and other injuries associated with fires that were related to fuel containers.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says properly storing, using, and handling fuel and gas cans or containers are all critical parts of fire safety.
You never want to put gasoline on a fire or an open flame. You want to use only appropriate approved materials for starting or relighting fires.
That means a fire starter log or stick. Other things to have on hand, a fire extinguisher, water container, or hose nearby in case the fire gets out of hand.
You also want to make sure that you check the weather beforehand. Make sure that there's not high winds or gusts, and also check to see that there aren't any warnings of risk of wildfires in your area.
Gas cans or fuel containers should be stored outside of a home in a cool and well-ventilated area, and never store or handle a fuel container near a heat source or flame.
The vapors itself can catch fire and flash back and explode, or they can flash forward violently and burn people nearby.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As you fill a portable gas container with fuel at a gas station, officials say that the container needs to be placed flat on the ground, and the safest place to transport it is in the trunk of a car or in the bed of a truck. They say to immediately remove the container from the vehicle when you get to your destination. And new research shows more young and middle-aged women are being diagnosed with lung cancer at higher rates than men. Scientists are struggling to understand why. The research was published this week in the journal JAMA Oncology. The study included people diagnosed with lung cancer between 2000 and 2019. It found women ages 35 to 54 have been diagnosed with lung cancer at a higher rate than similarly aged men. A lack of understanding about what is driving the gender trend in lung cancer is in part fueling a push for more funding to study these differences. The hope is to identify the drivers so public health leaders could target those particular issues. Researchers hope studies showing gender disparities in lung cancer will make healthcare providers aware of how this disease affects women so they can know what to watch out for. Aside from smoking, other risk factors for lung cancer include a family history, exposure to secondhand smoke, radon, asbestos, pollution, and arsenic in drinking water. The Department of Health and Human Services said Friday it's reached an agreement with drug maker Pfizer to ensure continued access to Paxlovid for the next few years. In addition, the launch of the COVID-19 antivirals transition to the commercial market will start in November. Paxlovid has been distributed for free by the government. That coronavirus treatment got FDA approval in December of 2021. HHS, in a statement, says people who are uninsured or on Medicaid or Medicare can get Paxlovid through the department for free until the end of 2024. After that time, Pfizer will continue to offer a patient assistance program for those who don't have insurance or are underinsured through 2028. Pfizer will also give the government a stockpile of 1 million extra courses of treatments to protect against future surges of COVID-19. And across the country, pharmacies are struggling to get enough ADHD and ADD drugs for their patients. That could mean shelling out for name brand medicine, and that could be expensive. Devon Corp reports, and some small pharmacies and patients are struggling with the high costs amid the shortage.
This is worth its weight in gold.
Margie says her ADHD diagnosis 23 years ago answered a lot of questions and says medication has been life-changing.
So for the past 23 years, I have been taking an ADHD medication without any problems until 2 months ago when suddenly it just vanished.
There's definitely been an increase in need.
Pharmacists at Ivy Wild Pharmacy say they've seen a shortage of the generic versions of ADHD and ADD stimulant medication since last year.
The brands are all available, but the generics, it's kind of hard to get a hold of.
According to the FDA, drug manufacturers can only make a certain amount of these drugs each year. But in 2022, companies only made about 70% of what they were allowed to because one of those manufacturers was experiencing delays and demand was rising.
And I think that the pandemic had a lot to do with that. People were home and they were trying to stay focused while they were working from home.
The FDA says they're working with the DEA to lift limits on ingredients needed to increase production of these drugs, and by supporting the use of alternative treatment options like therapy and non-stimulant medications.
I think we're going to have to get an increase in production on some of these drugs. Our whole profession, that's what it's about. We want to get the right patient the right drugs.
Margie said she had to drive to Denver to find her medicine, but still needs to ration what she has, making her life and job that much more difficult.
My clients have deadlines, so I still have to meet those deadlines, which means I work right through weekends. I get up at 4 in the morning. I need that extra time to be able to do what I used to have been able to do 9 to 5.
Some of the drugs used to treat ADHD include Adderall, Ritalin, and Vyvanse. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching a pretty chilly start to our day across the 4 states. We will warm up eventually as the morning goes on. We'll have another quick look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, Pineville, Missouri residents enjoy the nice weather with a fall fest.
And we've got some clouds out there this morning and some pretty cool temperatures. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, women all around the 4 states show off their fishing skills in a fishing derby in Neosha.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So again, if you need a quick wake-up call, don't worry. All you have to do is step outside, and you will be awake in seconds because it is cold out there. Now, again, for the folks at home, anything below like 75 degrees is cold to me. Now, I know for some of you, you love this weather. This is perfect. You'd like it to be this way year-round, and I applaud you for your strength and conviction in enjoying cold weather. I, on the other hand, do not have that same strength and conviction, and if I could hibernate, I absolutely would, but I don't think that the station would pay me if I started to hibernate. But they should. All right, let's take a look outside. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. You can't see it, but we do have some clouds out there, and that's going to be how we start our day, but it will begin to clear out. We are sitting at 41 in Joplin and just a pinch warmer in Pittsburgh, sitting at 43 this morning. Kids getting on the bus. I told you I'd fix it, and I'm not kidding. There were like 4 check boxes that had to be checked just to make the skies clear. Just to give you an idea as to how complicated these little things can be sometimes. We're going to go right around 40 by the time that bus picks them up. Northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour and sunny skies. Still clear skies by the time they come home. Upper 50s, low 60s. So if you send them out with a jacket, they're probably still going to want it when they come home. And we're still got that northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We got our morning started. Again, the clouds will begin to clear as we head towards sunrise. And we're going to be mostly clear, maybe a few clouds here and there through the morning hours. And we're going to be briefly breezy. At least the forecast data shows winds will pick up a little bit between 8 and 10, and then they'll come back down. So nothing like what we've seen the last several days. And we'll eventually make it into the low 50s by late morning. So a pretty chilly day out there for us. We'll have another complete look at your forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. The 5th annual Fall Festival in Pineville, Missouri took place Saturday at the Pineville Times Square. This family-friendly event featured food, music, giveaways, and vendors. There was also a pet costume contest to get into the Halloween spirit and a bounce house for the kids.
So we have vendors here with all types of arts and crafts. We have food trailers here. The city has our own cook shack, and we have food and desserts out of there. We also have music all day long up on the stage. And kind of a unique twist is we give away free door prizes 3 times during the day.
Locals were able to enjoy the festival from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. The Maple Leaf Festival Week kicks off in Central Park in Carthage with Oktoberfest. The week-long festivities include live music, vendors, and a baby show on Saturday. Throughout the rest of the week, there's going to be a chili cook-off, chicken pageant, and even a night of worship on Wednesday.
The Maple Leaf Festival, this is our 57th year, but our Oktoberfest, this is our 3rd year doing Oktoberfest. And you know, we're leading up to our big day on Saturday. Friday night on the square is a free concert for anybody and everybody to come.
For more information about the event or upcoming events, visit KOAMnewsnow.com. The Neosho National Fish Hatchery hosted its fabulous fall fishing for females on Saturday. This is the hatchery's 2nd annual Ladies Only Fishing Derby. The event began at 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. and was open to women 18 years old or older.
I believe there were 52 million people in the United States who participated in outdoor recreation fishing, some form of fishing. Of that, only 37% were female. So we decided last year to do something about that, and we had our first ever women's fishing derby.
For the derby, there was a 4-trout limit and no catch and release. Quapaw Hay Days also took place Saturday as locals celebrate the town's legacy. Quapaw was once the hay capital of the U.S., and Hay Days invited hundreds of local residents to enjoy fall festivities. Quapaw Public Schools put on the event that featured family-friendly fun like scavenger hunts, lip-sync battles, and a basketball tournament.
I'm just seeing the community involvement, seeing all the kids running around having a good time, and just bringing the community together.
The festivities began at 10 a.m. and wrapped up around 3 p.m. at Quapaw schools. Blocktober took place Saturday in downtown Galena. The event featured multiple vendors, games, food trucks, and bouncy houses. Some of the proceeds will go towards building a splash pad for the city of Galena. It costs about $120,000, and they are quickly approaching their goal.
So we're going to build a splash pad. It's going to be free to the community. It's kind of like what you see at Whitewater in the back area where the kiddos get to play. And it's going to be right downtown by our public pool. And like I said, it's going to be free.
In the evening, they had live music from Big Smitty, a beer garden, and a pumpkin decorating contest. At Fort Scott High School, there's Thespians held their annual tea party on Saturday. Attendees are encouraged to dress up in their favorite costumes and enjoy crafts, food, and activities. This year they added multiple new characters, including Tarzan and Jane, Captain Hook, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, as well as the Teen Titans.
We have students who really enjoy playing certain characters, especially year after year, and then some of them, when they graduate, they kind of pass that character on down to someone else who's coming up. Every year we usually add a couple of characters, so now we're at 14 different tables.
Tickets are $5 per child and could be purchased online or at the door. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Why the Pentagon has ordered a second aircraft carrier strike group to international waters. Plus, the death toll on both sides is nearing 4,000 as the Israelis prepare for a live invasion of Gaza. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, medical personnel are seen tending to the injured following another powerful earthquake in Afghanistan yesterday. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck the area, the third earthquake from the region after more than a week. Injured people were brought to a hospital in Herat in Afghanistan's northwest corner near Iran. According to an emergency relief team, at least one person has been killed and 150 were injured. Last Saturday and Sunday, strong earthquakes, also both at 6.3 reading, killed more than 2,000 people and flattened entire villages, communities, all into rubble. The Pentagon has ordered a second aircraft carrier strike group to international waters in the eastern Mediterranean Sea near Israel. U.S. officials say that this show of force is intended to discourage Iran or the terror group Hezbollah from joining the conflict between Israel and Hamas. The USS Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group is heading toward the USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group that arrived earlier this week. The announcement of the second deployment comes as Israel says it is gearing up for the next phase of its war with Hamas. The effort is expected to include widespread airstrikes and a major offensive on the ground. On Sunday, the border between Lebanon and Israel was the scene of fighting between the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah and Israeli forces. The militant group fired rockets and Israeli forces responded with shelling. The Israeli army says there was also a shooting at one of its border posts. Hezbollah is backed by Iran. It's considered an ally of the Hamas militants in Gaza. Hezbollah also saying it fired rockets at an Israeli military post in response to Israeli shelling that the group says killed Reuters videographer Issam Abdallah on Friday and 2 civilians on Saturday. This morning, there is uncertainty as to whether a ceasefire will be put in place to allow humanitarian aid to be delivered from Egypt into Gaza. Right now, the death toll on both sides is nearing 4,000 as Israelis prepare for a land invasion of Gaza. Meanwhile, authorities here in the U.S. say that the conflict in the Middle East may have led to the targeting and tragic killing of a child on American soil. CBS News' Naomi Ruchum has the latest from New York.
More Israeli ground troops have moved closer to Gaza. Military officials say a Hamas commander was killed over the weekend by airstrikes. The U.S. Embassy says there are reports that a border crossing between Egypt and Gaza will open to allow in desperately needed humanitarian aid, but the situation is unpredictable.
Gaza is running out of water and electricity.
In a CBS 60 Minutes interview, President Biden said Israel has to go after Hamas.
Hamas is a bunch of cowards. They're hiding behind the civilians.
A U.S. official tells CBS News Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has invited the president to Israel and that both sides have discussed the possibility of that visit. Flights carrying Americans returning from Israel landed in Florida, New York, and Chicago.
I got to the gate, I sat down, and I started crying.
But in a nearby Chicago suburb, a memorial is growing after authorities say a knife-wielding man attacked his tenants, injuring a Palestinian mother and killing her 6-year-old son. The sheriff's office says the child was stabbed 26 times.
How can anyone do that to a little boy? I can't.
In a statement, President Biden expressed condolences to the child's family, adding, quote, "This horrific act of hate has no place in America." Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
The Department of Justice has opened a hate crimes probe into the Illinois attack. Meanwhile, the FBI is warning that threats in the past week have increased against Jewish and Muslim facilities. The agency is asking for tips from the public, with their biggest concern being lone wolf-style assailants. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:45 now on this Monday morning here in the 4 states, and it is cold outside. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, not showing the cold as we've discussed, but showing us an otherwise pretty decent view. We do have some clouds out there, but those will be clearing out as the morning progresses. And same from the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue, of course, just south of Pittsburgh, and from our camera at 7th and range line in Joplin. Again, mostly cloudy skies for now, 41 with a calm breeze out there, and chilly temperatures around the area, but we're only about 10 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago. But you know what? That 10 degrees when we're getting chilly like this makes a world of difference. That is for sure. Check out Iola sitting at 36, 39 Yates Center, 38 Neodesha and Parsons, 37 in Monette, 39 Cassville Carthage. So some chilly spots out there for sure. 42 Pittsburgh, 41 in Lamar, 46 in Miami as we get our Monday underway. So how does our day shape up? Well, the beginning starts to look pretty good. We'll start to see some clearing skies. There may be a few clouds here or there, but otherwise not bad. Plentiful sunshine. But despite that sunshine, it is not going to warm up all that much, at least not quickly across the area. And the computer data does show that at least between about 8 and 10 a.m. could see a brief moment of some gusty winds, but nothing like what we've seen the last several days across the area, where that breeze has made it feel considerably colder outside than what it is. We're looking at highs right around the low to mid 60s, and of course along and west of 60 or 75 in southeast Kansas could actually make the upper 60s today. You guys are pretty lucky. It's going to be pretty warm out there. But for the rest of us, again, a slow warm-up, but we'll still have those mostly clear skies with just a few clouds hanging around. We'll start to go partly cloudy as we head into the evening, so a few more clouds here and there. And despite those extra clouds, temperatures still fall quickly. 59 by 6, 51 at 8, down to 48 by 10, ahead of overnight lows in the upper 30s and lower 40s across the area. So another pretty chilly night for us, which means, of course, for our Tuesday, another pretty chilly start out there with those partly cloudy skies. As for the rest of the week, we will eventually gradually warm up. We're looking partly cloudy for our Tuesday, a bit milder as we go upper 60s, and of course out west, maybe some lower 70s out there. And as the rest of us warm in the low to mid 70s, again, 75 and west are looking to be upper 70s, so not bad out there. Could see a stray isolated shower or two late Wednesday into early Thursday. Otherwise, just some partly cloudy skies across the area. Overnight lows are going to bounce around between the 50s and 40s. Where temperatures, though, see, look, warming up into the low 70s out there for the most of us. And then we'll fall back just a bit by Sunday, going back into the upper 60s. And that's going to be the worst of our roller coaster ride, is between the upper 60s and low 70s. So nothing like what we've seen as well over the last few days, but big changes in our temperatures temperatures. We'll start to warm again a little bit, low 70s, upper 60s again as we head into next week. And we do have that chance again for some evening showers on Tuesday and maybe some more of that much needed rain by next Wednesday. So that's just a quick reminder, if we absolutely need that rain. We do have some more on the way. And the good news is, at least at this point, for Maple Leaf festivities on Saturday, we're not looking too bad. It's going to be a chilly start, but temps in the low to mid 70s under mostly sunny skies. So not bad to get out there and enjoy all that Maple Leaf has to offer. That is a quick check of your forecast. We have more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
The goal of every marriage is to live a long, successful, and happy life together. Well, one Middle Georgia couple has cracked the code, celebrating 70 years together. Brianna Cook sat down with them to find out what a marriage looks like 7 decades later.
I thank the Lord for letting us live this long and let us be married.
Oliver Pitts and his wife Violet Jarrell Pitts have been married since 1953. That's 70 years through sickness, health, rich, and for poor. They met through friends and family and dated for 4 years before tying the knot.
Well, at first I really didn't like him. I really didn't, but I come to love him.
Violet was a housewife, while Oliver says he took care of things outside the home.
Give her my check, and she cash it and pay all the bills, and I didn't have to do that. I was a plumber.
Through the years, they filled that home with 5 generations of Pitts, learning along the way about the ups and downs of a marriage. Violet says the key to a successful marriage is forgiving and forgetting.
You're going to get married sometime, but let it go. Turn it loose. We may not speak in 2 or 3 days, but still, stay there. Stay right there.
Over 7 decades, Violet says she did leave Oliver once.
Went back to my mama's house, so he come back and got me.
And it didn't even take him long to come to his senses.
I tried to cook some bread, cook me some, and I messed around there and put some soda in the dough, and them things I put them in the oven. Them things swelled up so high, and I couldn't eat them, and I threw them out there to the dog, and the dog wouldn't eat them. I said, I got to go get my wife.
Though they've been together longer than they can count on their fingers and toes, the Pitts are still a happy couple, still very much in love.
I was proud that we was able to stay together.
I got it now. You can't go nowhere now. You can't drive. So I got it now.
Wow, 70 years, good for them. They're definitely what we would consider couple goals. We'll be right back with more news after this. Madonna has officially kicked off her new Celebration World Tour. She returned to the stage Saturday at London's O2 Theatre. That's after Madonna battled a bacterial infection in June, causing her to cancel the first leg of her tour in North America. She told the crowd Saturday that she and her doctors didn't think she was going to make it. Madonna also said her children helped her fight and survive. And if you run out of candy for trick-or-treaters this Halloween, M&M's has you covered with a new promotion. It's called Halloween Rescue Squad, a service that promises to deliver free Mars candy to your neighborhood in under an hour if you think you might run out. That's right, M&M's will come to the rescue if you're low. M&M's parent company Mars is teaming up with the delivery service GoPuff to facilitate the one-day operation. That day, of course, October 31st, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you can hit up the Halloween Rescue Squad website for candy reinforcements if you're running low. A backup supply of candy should be there within an hour while supplies last. You must live in a GoPuff delivery area to be eligible for the offer.
That sounds like something that could be handy just about any time of the year, not just on Halloween. If you run out of candy, you might need that emergency candy supply. So they should consider extending it beyond just Halloween. Today, though, very fall-like out there, almost winter-like for this region, as we're going to see mostly sunny skies, a bit breezy between about 8 and 10. Otherwise, not bad. A few clouds, but chilly. We'll go into the low 50s by late morning. Afternoon highs today under these mostly sunny skies are going to make it into the low to mid 60s, and of course, along and west of US 75, you'll be a little bit warmer, maybe going into the upper 60s today, you lucky dogs. And then we will see clouds increasing, going partly cloudy, heading through the evening. Temperatures fall quickly, and we'll drop back into the upper 30s and lower 40s across the region for our overnight lows tonight. Temperatures continue to warm, though, heading toward the end of the week as we go upper 60s into the low 70s. Maybe a stray shower or two late Wednesday into early Thursday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. More sunshine for the Maple Leaf festivities on Saturday, so that's going to be great, but chilly. It's from the upper 40s to start the day. We'll make it in the low 70s by the afternoon. Our roller coaster ride of temperatures is more of just a few bumps in the road as we bounce between upper 60s and low 70s, and then we'll see some additional rain chances as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So y'all know we need that rain, and the more of it we can get out there, the better. And it's great that it doesn't happen to be interfering with any festivals or special events either, which is good news. That's another check of your forecast. We'll be back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, 3 teenagers were injured in a shooting outside of a wrestling match in Kansas City, Missouri.
And we've got a pretty chilly start to our Monday out there. A few clouds, but those will begin to clear. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we learn more about the 4-state legend, the Joplin Spook Light.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So, of course, you know, today we've got Lori Horton in the studio.
That we do.
And she's already setting up, and it's already looking delicious, and she hadn't even started anything yet, and that's the tough part there. Look at that. It's already looking great, and she hasn't even started anything yet. So you don't want to miss cooking with Lori here in just a few more minutes. And you don't want to miss this forecast because you're going to need to know exactly what you need to wear over the next few days. And you're going to want to wear a coat or a jacket, or for some reason you just love the cold weather. You're like a polar bear or one of those Siberian Huskies. Okay, great. You won't need the coat. But for the rest of us who don't like this cold, grab the jacket. MoDOT camera 20th in range line looking pretty good. Temperatures, on the other hand, looking pretty chilly out there, sitting at 40 in Joplin and 42 in Pittsburgh out there. Again, with a few clouds, but those will continue to clear as we go through the morning. Kids getting on the bus, looking at right around 40 degrees this morning at 7, northwest breeze at 5 to 10, so send the kids with a coat, because even if they don't think it's cold, we know it's cold, because then they'll get sick later because they said, I don't need a jacket. Not like I've ever experienced this before in my life with the kids, not at all, but just a suggestion. We're going to go low 60s, though, by this afternoon. Still holding on to mostly sunny skies and northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Could get a little breezy between, say, 8 and 10 a.m. out there, but thankfully nothing like what we've seen the last several days with some of those gusty winds making it pretty darn chilly, because the temperatures are going to make it chilly enough on their own. We could still see a few clouds through the morning, but otherwise mostly sunny skies, and we're going to head into the low 50s by late morning ahead of a pretty cool day across the area. We'll have another full look at your forecast, talk about some warmer temperatures on the horizon here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. A woman is dead after her car is hit by a semi on Highway 400 near Parsons, Kansas yesterday. Authorities say 78-year-old Nancy Davis of Marshfield, Missouri was driving west on the highway when she crossed the center line and hit a semi headed east. Davis was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi was taken to the hospital. 3 teenagers were injured in a shooting outside of a wrestling match in Kansas City, Missouri. Authorities say the shooting happened Saturday outside the T-Mobile Center, where a WWE event was happening. The 3 teens were hospitalized and listed in stable condition. The T-Mobile Center at the time was locked down during the event. No word on any suspects or arrests. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. It's a 4-state legend that's been discussed since the 1800s. I'm talking about what's known as the Joplin Spook Light. Our own Tanya Bach met up with a Fourth State man who showed us where to find it and a local folklore expert to learn the history behind the mystery.
Cross the creek, go around the house, come in the witch's holler, 3 miles and you're here.
Dean Walker is talking about how to find the Joplin Spook Light, a Fourth State mystery he's personally witnessed at least 50 times since he was 5 years old.
Well, I've seen guys in a convertible shooting at it with shotguns and a 30-30. They just keep floating down the road.
The original name of the spook light was the Hornet Spook Light, named for a little village and cemetery here on the Missouri side. It was best seen around here in the 1920s and 30s, and then it migrated west into Oklahoma along 40 Road.
And that's actually where the major studies were done by the Corps of Engineers, etc. Then by the late 40s and 50s, it was seen more on 50 Road. And that's what people today call Spook Light Road.
Lisa Martin is a member of the Paranormal Science Lab investigation team and Dark Ozarks. She's written a handful of books about haunted places in southwest Missouri and is currently publishing a new series on regional folklore, with the first book featuring the Joplin Spook Light.
There are tales that it could be a miner. There are tales that it's a Civil War soldier. There are tales that go further back with some of the native lore that it's, Indian lovers or Indian princess who's lost, that kind of thing. The story that is repeated the most is of a farmer that went out looking for his lost children, and he took a lantern and the children never came back and he never came back, and so the light is the farmer's lantern and he's looking for his lost children.
Whatever the story, there's a draw to young and old to try to figure out the mystery behind the light.
We can say what it's not a lot easier than what it is.
And where it begins and ends. Walker took us to the Devil's Holler Crossroads, the intersection of East 40 and South 650 roads.
Goes in the ground somewhere down there. We never did find it. Went all over looking for it. We did find a bunch of graves, but we didn't know if it come out of that cemetery or what.
A lot of the main theories that have been put forward over time, even from the Corps of Engineers and the University of Missouri, etc., really don't add up. Everything from swamp gas, and there's not a lot of decaying organic matter down there, or car lights, don't really hold up for most of the experiences.
An experience my photographer Ty Parks and I couldn't resist. You see anything there? The 2 red lights near the top of the screen belong to a cell phone tower about a half a mile away on 50 Road. The light in the middle, could it be the spook light? We tested the headlight theory.
This would be where I turn. Right here.
Yep, that's you.
I'm gonna turn.
Definitely not the same light. A mile north on 40 Road, we had a different experience, this time with my camera.
Took all my battery, just drained it.
And then, a few minutes later...
Ty, I see it in the tree.
You see it in the tree?
I see a light in the tree.
Are you looking straight up?
No, it's towards the bottom of the tree. Do you still see the light in my camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Which tree?
This big one. Right here. It was right at the base of it. Oh, whoa. I feel really cold.
Like it passed through me, it was so cold.
Oh.
I am freezing right now. Freezing. I saw something in this tree.
Whether what I encountered was the spook light or not, the legend remains a popular topic for Fourth State locals like Walker.
Do you think it's an evil entity, or?
Just a mysterious light floating around.
Tanya, you are a lot more brave than I, and a word of warning, it's not as safe now to park along 50 Road since it has been paved. There's no shoulder, and because of excessive littering, authorities will issue tickets if you're caught parking there at night. Our videographer Ty Perks and reporter Tanya Bach got permission from the county sheriff before their investigation. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, why Best Buy is officially ending sales of DVDs and Blu-ray discs. Plus, why a lawsuit to block former President Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado is going to move forward. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The Sonic 2 for $7 deal lets you choose from the Sonic Cheeseburger, Chicken Sandwich, or Foot-Long Chili Cheese Coney. Any two for $7. Because that friend that says they only want one bite never just wants one bite. Sonic 2 for $7 deal.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,250 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Thursdays in October, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., your favorite little hotspot, Outpost Casino, is treating, not tricking, with cash and Go Rewards prizes during Bingo Bonus. Play for your chance to win up to $3,500 cash. Over $200,000 in total cash and Go Rewards prizes will go. Play your favorite machine and win your share. Every day, a new way to treat, not trick. Outpost Casino, Highway 1010C on the Oklahoma-Missouri border. TheOutpostCasino.com for promotional details.
This sofa and love seat, $7.99. 4 and 5 drawer chest, starting at $139. Vanities, $99. Large mirrors, floor mirrors, starting at $49.99.
Wade's RV has a zero-fee consignment program. So if you're looking to sell your RV fast and you want to get more money, you got to come see us only at Wade's RV.
Right now, Sonic's small hand mix shakes are $1.99 all day. It sells itself, so I'll just list flavors in my sexy voice.
Chocolate, strawberry, peanut butter.
$1.99 small classic shakes all day at Sonic.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Best Buy is officially ending sales of DVDs and Blu-ray discs starting in the new year. The consumer electronics retailer will continue to sell the discs through the 2023 holiday shopping season online and in stores. A Best Buy spokesperson told Variety that making this change will provide more space in its retail stores to bring customers new and innovative tech. And the chain said that the way Americans watch movies and TV has changed drastically. Best Buy's move will leave Walmart, Amazon, and Target as the top retailers in the U.S. selling DVDs and Blu-ray discs. U.S. physical media revenue in the first half of 2023 dropped to $754 million, compared with a little over $1 billion in the year earlier period. That's according to data from the Digital Entertainment Group. And a lawsuit to block former President Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado is going forward. Trump lost the first of several attempts to throw out a lawsuit that seeks to block him from the 2024 presidential ballot in Colorado. The lawsuit is based on the 14th Amendment, which bans office holders from future elections if they aid or engage in an insurrection. A district judge this week rejected Trump's bid to get the lawsuit dismissed on free speech grounds. Trump still has several pending challenges against the case, which was initiated by a liberal government watchdog group. President Joe Biden has now raised more than $71 million for his re-election campaign in the Democratic Party. Sunday, Biden's campaign said that the money was raised during the third fundraising quarter. Biden's haul outpaces the amounts raised by each of the Republican presidential candidates who have reported their results so far. The president's political operation with the Democratic National Committee ended the quarter with $91 million. Biden's campaign has also doubled the number of donors who have committed to donating every month since last quarter, with the figure now reaching over 112,000 people. Republican Representative Jim Jordan is pushing to be the next Speaker of the House. He's hoping to succeed the recently ousted Kevin McCarthy, who lost the role in large part due to members of his own party. And now Jordan is likewise facing an uphill battle in his quest due to some of the House GOPs. John Lorenk reports.
It's been 13 days since Representative Kevin McCarthy was voted out as Speaker of the House, and the role is still vacant.
It's time to end the Republican Civil War so we can get back to doing the business of the American people.
The Republican conference nominated Rep. Jim Jordan of Ohio for Speaker last week. However, numerous GOP sources tell CNN dozens of House Republicans will vote no for Jordan.
Nothing's impossible, but it's going to be really, really difficult based on what I'm hearing.
To become Speaker of the House, a nominee has to secure the majority of the full House, which, because of 2 vacancies, is 217 votes. That means any Republican, in this case Jordan, can only lose 4 GOP votes if the Democrats unanimously vote for Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
We want to ensure that votes are taken on bills that have substantial Democratic support and substantial Republican support so that the extremists aren't able to dictate the agenda.
The House is expected to hold a vote for House Speaker on Tuesday, according to an email CNN obtained from House Minority Whip Catherine Clark.
We have a lot of people on the bench. I think Jim Jordan will be an excellent speaker. I think he'll be able to get to 217. If not, we have other leaders in the House.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A Republican source tells CNN that Jordan has had some positive talks with some House members, and that Jordan may call for multiple ballots on Tuesday if necessary. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty chilly start out there across the 4 states. We are sitting at 40 in Joplin, 41 in Pittsburgh right now. As the kids get on the bus this morning, they're going to want a jacket, as we're going to be right about 40 this morning. And by this afternoon, still sunny skies, northwest breeze 5 to 10, but only about the low 60s out there. We're not going to do a lot of warming today, but we will eventually warm as we head through the week. And we'll take a look at that, plus some shower chances in your full forecast. But first, here's meteorologist Sam Lane with the Farmer's Forecast.
And welcome to this edition of the Farmer's Forecast this week. We're still looking at a drought situation across a large part of our area, especially in southeastern Kansas. We've seen some improvement in southwestern Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, and of course northwestern Arkansas, but it's still exceptionally severe in Chautauqua, Elk, and parts of Montgomery counties, and also up towards the north in Vernon, Cedar, and St. Clair counties. Extremely dry up there as well. We definitely need some rainfall in here, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have any in the near future. All right, let's take a look at the winter wheat right now. The areas of drought in winter wheat, about 49% of the winter wheat production area is currently under drought right now. And if we take a look at the corn, it's about 59% of that area is under drought, so that's going to have an impact on corn prices. Then as we go into the soybeans, again, about 58% of the soybean growing areas is currently under drought. The cattle situation is a little bit better at only 46%, but still that's a large part of the country that is experiencing the drought conditions. And it's going to be pretty dry in our forecast locally. Warm as we head through the middle part of the week, only a 20% chance of passing showers late Wednesday into Thursday, then dry again to the next weekend with another round of rain.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Best Buy is officially ending sales of DVDs and Blu-ray discs starting in the new year. The consumer electronics retailer will continue to sell the discs through the 2023 holiday shopping season, online and in stores. A Best Buy spokesperson told Variety that making this change will provide more space in its retail stores to bring customers new and innovative tech. And the chain said that the way Americans watch movies and TV has changed drastically. Best Buy's move will leave Walmart, Amazon, and Target as the top retailers in the U.S. selling DVDs and Blu-ray discs. U.S. physical media revenue in the first half of 2023 dropped to $754 million, compared with a little over $1 billion in the year earlier period. That's according to data from the Digital Entertainment Group. And a lawsuit to block former President Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado is going forward. Trump lost the first of several attempts to throw out a lawsuit that seeks to block him from the 2024 presidential ballot in Colorado. The lawsuit is based on the 14th Amendment, which bans office holders from future elections if they aid or engage in an insurrection. A district judge this week rejected Trump's bid to get the lawsuit dismissed on free speech grounds. Trump still has several pending challenges against the case, which was initiated by a liberal government watchdog group. President Joe Biden has now raised more than $71 million for his re-election campaign in the Democratic Party. Sunday, Biden's campaign said that the money was raised during the third fundraising quarter. Biden's haul outpaces the amounts raised by each of the Republican presidential candidates who have reported their results so far. The president's political operation with the Democratic National Committee ended the quarter with $91 million. Biden's campaign has also doubled the number of donors who have committed to donating every month since last quarter, with the figure now reaching over 112,000 people. Republican Representative Jim Jordan is pushing to be the next Speaker of the House. He's hoping to succeed the recently ousted Kevin McCarthy, who lost the role in large part due to members of his own party. And now Jordan is likewise facing an uphill battle in his quest due to some of the House GOPs. John Lorenk reports.
It's been 13 days since Representative Kevin McCarthy was voted out as Speaker of the House, and the role is still vacant.
It's time to end the Republican Civil War so we can get back to doing the business of the American people.
The Republican conference nominated Rep. Jim Jordan of Ohio for Speaker last week. However, numerous GOP sources tell CNN dozens of House Republicans will vote no for Jordan.
Nothing's impossible, but it's going to be really, really difficult based on what I'm hearing.
To become Speaker of the House, a nominee has to secure the majority of the full House, which, because of 2 vacancies, is 217 votes. That means any Republican, in this case Jordan, can only lose 4 GOP votes if the Democrats unanimously vote for Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
We want to ensure that votes are taken on bills that have substantial Democratic support and substantial Republican support, so that the extremists aren't able to dictate the agenda.
The House is expected to hold a vote for House Speaker on Tuesday, according to an email CNN obtained from House Minority Whip Catherine Clark.
We have a lot of people on the bench. I think Jim Jordan will be an excellent speaker. I think he'll be able to get to 217. If not, we have other leaders in the House.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A Republican source tells CNN that Jordan has had some positive talks with some House members, and that Jordan may call for multiple ballots on Tuesday if necessary. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty chilly start out there across the 4 states. We are sitting at 40 in Joplin, 41 in Pittsburgh right now. As the kids get on the bus this morning, they're going to want a jacket, as we're going to be right about 40 this morning. And by this afternoon, still sunny skies, northwest breeze 5 to 10, but only about the low 60s out there. We're not going to do a lot of warming today, but we will eventually warm as we head through the week. And we'll take a look at that, plus some shower chances in your full forecast. But first, here's meteorologist Sam Lane with the Farmer's Forecast.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining me today in studio is Lori Horton.
Good
And
morning.
she'll be teaching us, that's right, good morning. But this is really unique. So we've all heard about the chocolate chip cookies, but these are chocolate chip cookie cups.
Yeah, we're going to take a little twist on that, as
Yes.
you guys know that I like to do. So what we're starting out with this morning is a very basic chocolate chip cookie recipe.
All right.
Nothing special. Quite frankly, the one on the bag of Nestle Toll House cookies is fabulous. Why mess with perfection?
Exactly.
Go with that. The only thing I will suggest, use your favorite recipe, but you always want one that's got that brown sugar in it, because that's going to be a chocolate chip cookie recipe that's really soft and chewy.
Brown sugar is the way to go.
Yeah, that's good. It's going to have regular sugar, brown sugar, all of your standards.
Wonderful.
But once you make up that batch of cookie dough, you're going to wrap it up in this kind of a little tube here and chill it for a little bit, because we want it to be a little bit firm to make it easier to slice and easier
So put
to
it in the
form.
freezer for...
You can put it in the freezer for just, 10-15 minutes, or if you're doing something else, pop it in the fridge for about an hour or so. You'll be good to go. And if it's one of those instances like we've all experienced where the kids come in the night before and say, oh my gosh,
Yes,
I gotta
right?
have something tomorrow, go to the store, buy a tube of Pillsbury cookie dough already ready to go.
I love that.
That's okay too. This is a no judgment kind of a deal here. So
All right. And how did you even come up with this whole recipe? Where did this begin?
I can't take the credit for all of that. This is, we've got the internet. We've got the internet. God bless Pinterest. These are recipes that you'll find all over, and using sugar cookie or chocolate chip cookie, really anything, but to make these little cups. And then when we come back later in the show on Fox, we are going to show some different toppings that we can put in there.
Right, because they're literally set up to be little bowls.
They're perfect.
So you could put ice cream, you could put,
absolutely, all kinds of good stuff.
Anything you want.
So we're going to make some decent sized slices here on our chocolate chip cookie dough. And the next most important part of this is to spray that cupcake pan.
Yes.
Because these are a little awkward to get out otherwise. So I'm going to take this with a baking spray, and remember, the sides are really what stick. So we want to make sure that we not only spray the bottom, but that we also spray the sides really thoroughly so that those totally come out after they bake.
That's just butter spray? Is that it?
This is actually a baking spray, a little bit different than just our regular PAM.
Okay.
So believe it or not, there is a difference between the cooking spray and the baking spray.
Makes sense.
It does.
We'll trust you.
I've done the experiments. It doesn't go well with the other. So we're going to just pop those down in our pan. We're going to lightly form them into the bottom. You don't have to get real crazy there, but just kind of fill in the bottom of that pan fully with that dough so that it's just kind of a nice disc in the bottom.
Okay.
Then we're going to bake it like normal, about 350 degrees,
Really?
10 to 12 minutes.
Just bake it like that, and it'll make the actual...
It's not going to make the cup when it comes out. So when they come out, they're going to be pretty fully formed while they're hot.
That's where the secret...
That's where the secret
Lori,
comes
you're
in.
so good.
You can use a lot of things. You'll see things up into like a shot glass. My handy dandy cookie scoop works great. It's metal, so it's going to form right in there, and we're just going to take it and make that little well in the center while it's hot.
I love that. All
right after they come out.
Perfect. We'll stick around because we'll have part 2 and 3 of cooking these delicious cookies with Lori. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 624 on this Monday morning. Taking a live look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Looking pretty good so far this morning, albeit a bit chilly. And we got a pretty decent view from the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue. Of course, that's just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera, 7th and Range Line. What you can't see is there are some clouds out there. We're sitting at 40, west breeze at 3 with partly cloudy skies. And we will continue to see these clouds clearing out. We got that northwest breeze all over the place. And we got some pretty chilly temperatures out there too. Iola, for example, at 36, 37 Neodesha, 38 Parsons, 39 in Lamar, Carthage, Independence, Yates Center, 41 Pittsburgh, 43 in Miami, and a little warmer to the south, 45 Grove, and 46 in Jay. We get our morning started. We're looking at sunny skies, a few clouds here and there, otherwise not bad. A little breezy between about 8 and 10, but nothing like what we've seen in the last several days, and we'll go into the low 50s by late morning. Heading into the afternoon, temperatures do not warm quickly, even though we'll have a lot of sunshine out there. We're going to go low 60s. Maybe some mid 60s out there, and of course west of 75 in Kansas, could go even into the upper 60s out to the west. And then we'll cool back pretty quickly too. Clouds increase just a bit. We're going to go partly cloudy heading into the evening, 48 by 10. Overnight lows in the upper 30s and low 40s, so that means another pretty chilly start for our Tuesday out there. But we're going to trend a bit warmer as we go into the upper 60s, and we'll start heading low 70s out there. Of course, out west, some of you could get into the upper 70s by the middle of this week. Isolated showers possible late Wednesday into Thursday morning. We'll hold on to this roller coaster ride is very small. We're talking upper 60s, low 70s, and we'll continue with that trend as we head into the next work week as well, with some additional shower chances building in by Tuesday evening and into Wednesday morning across the area. So at least some much needed rain down the road for us. And our overnight lows, they're chilly, but not bad. We're talking upper 40s and low 50s. That's a quick check of your forecast. Now here's Caitlin with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, an insurance company in Michigan put a 5-day limit on opioids for some patients after common surgeries like appendectomies and hysterectomies. Research shows it did not increase their pain or harm their recovery. Experts say more data is needed before a limit can be applied to surgeries like joint replacements or spine surgery, which can be far more painful. And home health services can be crucial for the elderly, but a new study in the JAMA Network finds that access is hard to come by in many locations. The findings show that 1/4 of U.S. counties have low availability of home-based care clinicians who serve Medicare recipients. And researchers in Alabama looked at data on more than 13 million infants across the country and found that a higher risk of infant mortality among babies who were born to mothers on Medicaid insurance. Infant of mothers with private insurance had significantly lower risk of mortality, low birth rate, and preterm birth. Researchers say it underscores the need to improve care access to women and infants on Medicaid. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Pineville, Missouri residents enjoy the nice weather with a fall fest.
And definitely fall-like out there. Pretty chilly start across the area. We've got a few clouds. Those are on their way out. Take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, women all around the 4 states show off their fishing skills in a fishing derby in Neosho.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's been on the cool side out there this morning, and that's something that we're just going to have to get used to because cool temperatures are going to be the trend for the next several days across the area. Taking a quick live look outside, MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin. We're looking pretty good out there. Got some dry roads, got a few clouds, but those are on their way out. Temperatures, though, on the chilly side, 40 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh. So, again, a pretty cool start out there. Kids getting ready to go to school today, they're definitely going to want to grab a jacket. And speaking of getting on the bus this morning, yeah, about 40 this morning, but will be sunny. Not that that's going to make a difference, but will be sunny. Northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as we head into the afternoon, holding on to those mostly sunny skies, low 60s, upper 50s. Northwest breeze still about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We get our morning started between about 8 and 10. Could be a little bit on the breezy side, but nothing like what we've seen the last several days here across the 4 states. Could see a few clouds hanging out here and there, but otherwise, again, more sunshine. But even with that sunshine, does not really warm our temperatures much. We're only in the low 50s by late morning, so a pretty cool day across the area. We do have a little bit of a warming trend in our future and some at least isolated shower chances. We'll talk about all that in your complete forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Pitt State students yesterday hosted a cornhole tournament. The purpose of the event was for PSU students to get to know the community as well as give back to their fans and supporters. The tournament doubled as a fundraiser where all proceeds were split between 3 local organizations.
The main idea of today is to kind of bring the community of Pittsburgh, Kansas and the community of the college itself together as one. That's kind of my job. So we were looking at things over the summer and what exactly we could do to fulfill that. And one thing we decided on was that, a cornhole is something that's very appropriate for this time of year.
Registration was $5 per student and $10 per community member. The Maple Leaf Festival hosted their second day of events yesterday. Sunday's festivities included a chili cook-off. It cost $10 to enter and $5 to taste. About 10 different chili booths were set up, with each booth offering a different take on the classic chili.
Yeah, so we change it up from year to year, give to different organizations. Last year was the Carthage Humane Society, and this year it's the Carthage VFW. So keeping the funds local and trying to help our community in the best way we can.
All chili cooks made their chili on site at Central Park. Also part of the Maple Leaf Festival yesterday was a chicken pageant. The rules are simple: bring a chicken and dress it in a costume. The audience voted for their favorite chicken and costume for each age group. The winner walked away with a prize.
Yeah, we heard about it because my brother was in it like a few years ago, and so I thought I would do it.
About 30 chickens were in attendance, and there was even one dressed as fried chicken. And the Maple Leaf Festival week kicks off at Central Park in Carthage with Oktoberfest. The week-long festivities include a live music, vendors, and a baby show Saturday. Throughout the rest of the week, there's going to be a chili cook-off, chicken pageant, and even a night of worship on Wednesday.
It supports the community and supports all of the businesses with showcasing all of our businesses who support Carthage in general. So this festival gives back. It was started from the high school with a band competition that they have, and it's just evolved over the years.
For more information of their full list of events, check out carthagechamber.com. The 5th Annual Fall Festival in Pineville, Missouri took place Saturday at the Pineville Town Square. This family-friendly event featured food, music, giveaways, and vendors. There was also a pet costume contest to get into the Halloween spirit and a bounce house for the kids.
So this is our 5th one, and we started this 5 years ago with just didn't really know what it might end up like, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year.
Locals were able to enjoy the festival from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. The Neosho National Fish Hatchery hosted its fabulous fall fishing for females on Saturday. This is the hatchery's 2nd annual Ladies Only Fishing Derby. The event began at 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. and was open to women 18 years and older.
Yeah, we're celebrating 135 years. The fish hatchery was founded in 1888. And so for this event, for this year, we have all our traditional fishing derbies. This is our 2nd annual women's fishing derby. So it's only the 2nd time we've ever done this.
For the derby, there was a 4-trout limit and no catch and release. Quapaw Hay Days also took place Saturday as locals celebrate the town's legacy. Quapaw was once the hay capital of the U.S., and Hay Days invited hundreds of local residents to enjoy fall festivities. Quapaw Public Schools put on the event that featured family-friendly fun like scavenger hunts, lip-sync battles, and a basketball tournament.
I'm just seeing the community involvement, seeing all the kids running around having a good time, and just bringing the community together.
The festivities began at 10 a.m. and wrapped up around 3 p.m. at Quapaw schools. At Fort Scott High School, their thespians held their annual tea party on Saturday. Attendees are encouraged to dress up in their favorite costumes and enjoy crafts, food, and activities. This year they added multiple new characters, including Tarzan and Jane, Captain Hook, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, as well as the Teen Titans.
We have students who really enjoy playing certain characters, especially year after year, and then some of them, when they graduate, they kind of pass that character on down to someone else who's coming up. Every year we usually add a couple of characters, so now we're at 14 different tables.
Tickets were $5 per child and could be purchased online or at the door. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Why schools nationwide are trying to find enough bilingual teachers to fill classrooms.
And we'll tell you why you may need a jacket over the next several days here in the 4 states. Another look at that forecast. We'll be right back with more of the KOAM Morning News.
The record number of migrants arriving in the U.S. includes many young children. Now schools nationwide are trying to find enough bilingual teachers to fill classrooms. Michael George shows us just how some cities are trying new ideas to recruit more educators.
Schools across the country are adapting to a new reality, the enrollment of tens of thousands of migrant children.
I've never had as many students as I have now.
Michelle Land is a high school teacher and president of New Jersey Bilingual Educators. She says many children of asylum seekers speak little or no English, and without bilingual teachers, it'll be tough for them to keep up with their classmates or learn English. Can bilingual education actually help kids learn English faster?
Absolutely. And as a teacher of language, I know that in order for the student to learn a new language, we need to have a strong foundation in the first language.
A 2021 Department of Education report found more than half of states have a shortage of bilingual educators, with low pay and certification issues being the main reasons. Nonprofits are now offering financial incentives in Miami, Los Angeles, and Dallas to find more bilingual teachers. And in New York, a city trying to accommodate 20,000 more students, school officials are making it easier for bilingual teachers to get tenure.
Launching that gave us access to over 500
traditional teachers who are already tenured, already show proven success here in New York City schools, and who have the credentials to teach our multilingual learners.
Melissa Aviles Ramos with the New York City Department of Education says now the city has enough teachers to handle the influx of new students.
It makes a huge difference. Children feel welcomed when their language is recognized in a setting.
The hope is it will give tens of thousands of kids a foundation for a good education. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Advocates say the U.S. will need to invest much more money in education to meet the demands of the growing number of migrant students. One of the nation's biggest pharmacy chains, Rite Aid, has filed for bankruptcy. In a statement, the company said it is restructuring to reduce its debt. It comes as the retailer has been dealing with slumping sales and lawsuits related to the opioid epidemic. Rite Aid also named a new CEO, Jeffrey S. Stein. The IRS says that Americans failed to pay a record $688 billion on their 2021 tax returns, according to new estimates. The unpaid taxes fall mainly into three categories: taxes that aren't filed, are underreported, or are underpaid. The agency says it is taking urgent steps to increase compliance, which include auditing more high-income taxpayers and businesses. The IRS does not note that 85% of taxes are paid voluntarily and on time. And Taylor Swift's Eras Tour continues its record-breaking run, this time at the movie theater box office. Over the weekend, Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, had the biggest domestic opening ever for a concert film, grossing at nearly $100 million. The previous record holder was 2011's Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, which brought in $73 million when it opened initially. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Hey, got a pretty chilly start across the area this morning. Taking a live look at our camera, 7th and range line. It's still a little dark out there, but there's a stray cloud here or there, and those clouds will continue to clear as we head through the morning. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking back to the north, looking pretty good so far this morning. And a quick look outside. Temperatures, well, we're now tied in Joplin and Pittsburgh, 40 degrees each there, where Pittsburgh earlier this morning was just a few degrees warmer than where we were in Joplin. Kids getting on the bus, they are going to want that jacket because we're talking 40 degrees. Could be a little lower in some spots, maybe a little bit warmer in others, but right around 40. Sunny skies, though. That sunshine doesn't do a lot for our temperatures. Northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Still sunny by this afternoon, upper 50s, low 60s when the bus brings them home. So again, still some jacket weather out there, and that northwest wind still blowing at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We get our morning started. Again, the few clouds that we have left will start to clear out. There may be a stray cloud or two throughout the morning, but otherwise not bad. And between about 8 and 10, our winds could gust just a pinch over 20 miles an hour for a little bit, and then they'll come back down and be out of the northwest at 5 to 10. So not as breezy as it's been the last several days. Temperatures, though, again, despite the sunshine, are slow to warm. We're only in the low 50s by late morning, so a pretty cool day across the 4 states for sure. We're going to have another full look at your forecast here in just a moment. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break. But first, these fine people in New York City are getting ready for CBS Mornings, so let's see what they've got coming up on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings. Anthony is talking to, look at that, the Rolling Stones. Yay, about their new album. It's their first of original songs in 18 years, and whether or not they think about their legacy. That's coming right up.
Franklin with Sophia Venturella celebrating number 14. Happy birthday, Sophia.
And next up, we have Bradley Wade, who is turning 15 over in Baxter Springs, Kansas. But wait, he's actually a twin. There's also Braden Wade celebrating his 15th birthday. Happy birthday to both of you boys.
All right, Ethan Davidson in Girard celebrating birthday number 19 with happy birthday love coming from Mom. Happy birthday, Ethan.
And happy 21st birthday to Trenton Wright over in Arma, Kansas.
And to the east in Lamar, Charles Burr celebrating birthday number 74. Happy birthday, Charles.
Hey, and this is a big one. Happy 52nd anniversary to Dale and Sandra Earl over in Jasper, Missouri. Congratulations, you two.
And then our very own accounts payable representative, Leona Sherwood, celebrating another year wiser today. A very happy birthday, Leona, and thank you for all you do to take care of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then wrapping it up, we'll have Patty Lauderdale, who is turning 90 today, over in Neosho.
And Joanne Town celebrating birthday 86 in Iola. It says your family loves you very much.
And here's a kicker. Terry Town is 59, and that's actually Joanne's son. So look at that.
All right, very special birthday celebration there in Iola. Well, and a very happy birthday and anniversary to those of you on our list. Caitlin, if folks want to participate with us in these celebrations, what do they need to do?
Well, all you need to do is submit to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include pictures and any messages so we can give the proper shout outs to you and your loved ones on their special day.
And we love celebrating those birthdays with you. Let's take a quick look outside, shall we? This is our camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin. We've got mostly clear skies, a few clouds out there. In fact, if you look close enough, I think there's a couple out there. Those clouds are continuing to move out of the area. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, also looking pretty darn good this morning. And we are chilly, absolutely chilly. We're sitting at 40 in Joplin and in Pittsburgh. And we'll see more sunshine today. However, yeah, it's not going to really warm up a whole bunch out there. So we'll talk about that. We're going to skip this and move ahead because I didn't have this in the right spot. But that's all right. Again, still looking good from the MoDOT and KDOT cameras out there. And our camera, again, 7th and Range Line, looking all right. Again, cool. 40, partly cloudy in Joplin. West breeze at about 3 miles an hour. And we've got that northwesterly breeze across the area. 36 Iola, 39 Yates Center, 38 Parsons, 37 Neodesha is just a few of the cool spots. More 30s, Carthage, Lamar, Monette, and Cassville as well. 41, Nevada, Stockton, 42, Fort Scott, 41, Pittsburgh, and 43 in Miami. Again, we get our morning started. We're going to start to see more sunshine, be a bit breezy, although briefly. And despite that sunshine, temperatures slow to warm. We're talking low 50s by late morning. We head into the afternoon, mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there, and we're talking low to mid 60s for our highs, unless, of course, you know where, along and west of US 75, could make it into the upper 60s today. So talk about some nice weather out there. We go into the evening, we'll start to see a few more clouds. We're going to go partly cloudy. Temperatures fall back pretty quickly, upper 40s by 10. Overnight lows, upper 30s and low 40s across the area. And of course, with those kinds of lows, that does mean another relatively chilly start for us on our Tuesday. But we're going to be a bit warmer. Upper 60s out there, and of course out west, lower 70s. An isolated shower or two possible late Wednesday into Thursday morning. These will be very isolated at this point, but hey, some rain's better than no rain. We start to go in the low mid 70s, so of course out west we're talking maybe upper 70s. And we'll hang out in the low 70s, upper 60s as we head into the weekend and into next week, so no big drastic changes in our temperatures. And then we have some additional rain chances by next Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So again, much more of that much needed rainfall. Well, coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, by the way, that happens at 7 a.m., a black bear broke into a home in Connecticut recently, made itself at home, and raided the freezer. We'll have that story.
Here's a check at today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A woman is dead after her car is hit by a semi on Highway 400 near Parsons, Kansas yesterday. Authorities say 78-year-old Nancy Davis of Marshfield, Missouri was driving west on the highway when she crossed the center line and hit a semi headed east. Davis was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi was taken to the hospital. Pitt State students yesterday hosted a cornhole tournament. The purpose of the event was for PSU students to get to know the community as well as give back to their fans and supporters. The tournament doubled as a fundraiser where all proceeds were split between 3 local organizations. Registration was $5 per student and $10 per community member. Quapaw Hay Days also took place Saturday as locals celebrate the town's legacy. Quapaw was once the hay capital of the U.S., and Hay Days invited hundreds of local residents to enjoy fall festivities. Quapaw Public Schools put on the event that featured family-friendly fun like scavenger hunts, lip-sync battles, and a basketball tournament. The festivities began at 10 a.m. and wrapped up around 3 p.m. at Quapaw schools. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And a quick recap of that forecast. So again, mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there, but despite that sunshine, slow to warm, eventually low to mid 60s across the area for our highs. Clouds will increase a little bit as we head into the evening and overnight as we go partly cloudy. Overnight lows chilly once again into the upper 30s and low 40s. As we look ahead, we do have a bit of a warming trend. We'll start going into the upper 60s and low 70s across the area. Could see a stray shower or two Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Otherwise, we've got cool nights and pretty decent days over the next several days here in the 4 states.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, it's not country chicken. Nope, we're making city chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I'm curious
Right?
as to what the difference is. But you know what? If you join us at noon, you'll find out what the difference is.
It must be faster paced chicken.
Maybe,
right?
Might be, or slightly more polluted chicken. I mean, I'm not really...
You're right.
Lori's here. Maybe Lori can tell us what in the world the difference is between country chicken and city chicken.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to have to find out because I am kind of curious. Lori, what's the difference?
She just don't put her on the
It cooks faster.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
There you
This
go.
is the professional. She makes desserts, but I trust her instincts on chicken. Well, guess what? You can also continue local morning news on KOAM with CBS Mornings. The Rolling Stones are releasing their first original music in 18 years. Ahead on CBS Mornings, Anthony Mason sits with members of the band for a rare joint interview to discuss their new album and how they've stayed together for 6 decades.
Wow. Or you can
Impressive.
switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, as you know, we have Lori there. We're going to finish off those amazing cookie cups. And we'll have Cheryl Cotter and Sue Wheeler joining us in the studio to talk about the Crafts and Creations Fair.
So this is what I suggest. TiVo the Rolling Stones interview, and make sure you catch Lori live making these amazing desserts and our other guests as well. It's more exciting to see them live, and you can go back and watch the Rolling Stones.
They're not going anywhere, evidently.
Apparently not. 6 decades strong. They are not going anywhere. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.